Alright, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. If you've never been here before, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please. And click the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified every time a new video goes up on SouFLoTV. You don't want to miss the thing them. See? Blackman's lawyer calls for his acquittal. This is the same Clansman One Don gang trial that has been going on since last year, that is still going on. I'm sure a lot of people are saying, then rotted. This still a keep? Yes, it is. It is still very much in action. Now, remember, for those of you who are following closely, you will know that at some point, a couple of times actually, they took a long break from the trial. Sometimes somebody did catch COVID, judge did get sick, so on and so forth. All kind of something did go on. Anyways, right now as it stands, shout out to the Jamaica Star. While labeling the prosecutor's two main witnesses as bad and unreliable, attesters, the lead attorney for reputed Clansman One Don gang leader Andre Blackman Bryan yesterday asked the judge to reject the ex-gangster's evidence and acquit his client. For those who've been following, if you know, you know. There were two guys who basically turned against the gang. Turncoat or snitch, some people call them, because you used to be a part of an organization and then you decided to work with law enforcement to bring down the same organization that you used to be a part of, or so you claim. So therefore, they have names for those, right? Betrayal, whatever you want to call it. Those two were said to be the prosecutor's star witness. However, I must tell you that at this point, it seems like the two star witnesses, all their talking of evidence has been picked apart. Why? Because there has not been anything concrete that they have given over. The judge is looking for concrete stuff with proof. But all the judge has been getting so far is word of mouth. Anyhow, senior counsel Lloyd McFarlane stressed that the two ex-thugs, as he calls them, evidence should not be relied on, as no independent evidence was presented to corroborate their claims about his client. The only thing they have is these people word of mouth. It's like me saying, yes, Richie, stab up the man round the corner, but I don't have a man to show that got stabbed up around the corner, right? Or there's nothing else other than your word that says Richie stab up the man round the corner. Now, people are going to say, but that is called eyewitness, SouFLo. So an eyewitness testimony is not credible. Well, sometimes the eyewitness testimony can be credible, but there has to be other things to back up the eyewitness testimony. Because if you think about it, anybody could claim to be an eyewitness and come and just say, I saw him do it. And you're in prison. Anyhow, the lawyer went on to say that the court could not trust their utterance of these two witnesses, while noting that even the prosecution's own evidence, the secretly recorded voice conversation of the alleged gangsters, had contradicted one of the witnesses' testimonies. I want to remember the recordings that we were all waiting on so patiently, because one of them did say, Vybz Kartel tell me up on the phone, him order 2 murder, and we carry out 1 and the next one get where. Y'all remember that? That kind of reminded me of when the commissioner of police came on TV back in the day and said, Vybz Kartel was responsible. He's the leader of a gang that's responsible for over 100 murders across the island of Jamaica. Not one proof to this day. So when they came out and said that, I said, okay, I'm waiting on the recordings to come out because we probably are going to hear it. Anyhow we hear Kartel Pandey talk to them, him goose cook. Well, guess what? Nothing came out. The only thing that came out was another entertainer, which is iOctane, came out somehow on their tapes, but not Vybz Kartel. Just to put that in there, just to say they have said stuff that did not even show up on the recording, which they claim happened recorded. I'm just saying, the two witnesses had identified themselves as Bryan's driver, with one doubling as the gang's banker. Remember the one where say him not do no dirty work, seeing him keep the money in our refrigerator in his luxury apartment uptown, blah blah blah. Alright. The other one who said that he was later promoted to second in command and was given a community Don title, also claims that he was Bryan's trusted confidant. But McFarlane, the attorney now, during his closing address in the Home Circuit Court, argued that it was dangerous to accept their evidence without independent evidence, or their confession or voice something without independent evidence. He noted that his client, which is Andre Blackman, alleged gang leader, had been found not guilty in 8 of the 17 counts that were brought against him so far, and submitted that the prosecution has still not satisfied the court with corroborating evidence in respect to the 9 remaining counts. The man already beat 8 of them, you know, and 9 are remaining, and the prosecution still has not satisfied the court with enough evidence to stick those 9 to him. So what it's looking like, more than likely, is that Blackman are gonna beat all of them case here. He pointed to several instances in which he felt that the prosecution had missed the mark, including the August 2018 murder of Demain Dooley Forrester at the Chancery Street in St. Andrew, and the double murder and arson in New Nursery Fisheries in St. Catherine in September of 2018. If you remember, and you've been following the case, when the judge pulled up, this is how it was reported in the news. When the judge pulled up on the big screen, when the lawyers pulled up rather on the big screen in the courtroom, the bodies that were burnt from the couple over at New Nursery Fisheries. Remember, the youth never really too go nowhere. Him did kind of stay inside, him work and come home. The girl, she wasn't from that community. They had met somewhere else. They were progressing in a relationship. She decides that she gotta go over there, go chill with him, Netflix and chill. End up, you know what we do already, and spend the night. And it was one of those nights that allegedly Andre Blackman Bryan attacked with his cronies. And them shoot up the two of them together and set the place on fire. And they were found burnt like that. When that image of the burnt bodies were shown in court, it was reported in the Jamaica newspaper that Andre Blackman Bryan bust out a laughing in the court, seeing the scene of these two bodies burnt in front of the relatives, mother of the victim. He bust out laughing, and he was laughing so hard that the other guys who were there with him busted out laughing as well. That's how it was reported. I don't know if they were trying to paint him as demonic or that's how it actually happened, but that's how it was reported, and that's how I reported it to you. I said to myself, well, this must be a crazy person, because if I'm on trial for murder, and they put up on the screen in court burnt bodies, I would have started crying. I would have even looked on it and be like, John Star, that look, I'm sorry for them, but I never did that. You know, some kind of remorse or something to show that you're human. Them said the man bust out a laugh, sir. And others started laughing, and they were laughing so much that Andre Blackman had to like cover him mouth or hold on him head or something like that. And the judge was so upset about it, because how could you see such image and be laughing or smirking? So the judge actually called a break and left and went to his chambers and came back. Both witnesses had led evidence that Bryan ordered and planned Forrester's murder, and that the gangsters were sent 3 times by him, Andre Blackman, to kill the man before they actually succeeded. Forrester was reportedly marked for death because of his affiliation with a rival faction of the Klansman gang, but McFarlane said that the Crown did not submit any independent evidence and suggested that the ex-gangsters' evidence contradicted each other. He noted that one of them said that both of them had traveled in the same car, while the other one said that he was in a separate car. So the stories are not matching up. People, listen. For those of you who are going to say stupid stuff in the comment section, oh, SouFLo look like him a different criminal, or like him happy, so them a go get off. These are things that you have to be intelligent about and pay attention to. This is not shade tree justice. This is a courtroom. Okay? Standards are much higher here. If you go in court with two witnesses that are supposed to be testifying against one person, and both of them story end up being different, then there's going to be an issue. The judge can't take this story as credible when two people come in and tell two different stories when they're supposed to be telling the same story. Like Blackman's lawyer pointed out, the two witnesses trying to tell the same story at separate times on Andre Blackman gave two different accounts. One of them said, we drive in the same car. And the next one say, him was in a separate car. Him never driving in the same car. So how did it really go? Right? In relation to the murder arson, the former Don had testified that Bryan was among two groups of youngsters, or gangsters rather, that went to shell down the place over fisheries on the night in question, and that Bryan took a gun from his bodyguard, defendant Tariq James, and shot the male while James shot the female. This is a very descriptive thing. I saw it. Me see Blackman shoot the brother, and me see James shoot the female. Well, the other witnesses had also testified that he was present when the men were planning the attack, but that he did not go to the community as he was sent to scout the road to make sure say no police not in the area, no other rivals now come in, cause we are go over there go clean up a place, shell down the place. You are gonna be like security on the outer cordons. So he wasn't there in person to see it happen, but he was there for the planning of it, is his testimony. So the other witness testified also that he was present when the men were planning the attack. That's Blackman and the other guys that went over there and actually did it, allegedly, but that he did not go with them because he was sent to scout the road. But again, McFarlane, the attorney for Andre Blackman, argued that the Crown had failed to provide any evidence to substantiate the witnesses' claims that Bryan was present or that he had shot and killed anyone. All you don't have is people saying that the man do it. You don't have no forensic evidence. Don't y'all have a gun with his fingerprint on it that was used there? Don't y'all have like some camera footage? Don't y'all have like something concrete other than just he did it? For all we know, these people might be seeing this as a way to get Blackman out of the way because they feel like he's a threat so that they can run the area the way they want to run the area or something like that. We don't know. Anyhow, McFarlane pointed to evidence that Bryan Blackman had instructed him to collect $150,000 from one of his alleged cronies to purchase a gun. However, the attorney pointed out that in one of the secret voice recordings which was played at the trial, the man identified as Citypuss was heard giving instructions to the witness about the money and how much he should take for himself. Citypuss was identified during the trial as defendant Jason Brown, the gang's deputy commander. This is an illustration of why it is dangerous to rely on the cowardly Don, is what the lawyer said. Again, you can't go testify and say Blackman was the one that instructed me and tell me so and so and so. And then they play a recording and you actually have a recording and it's City Puss instructing you, not Blackman. I know people are gonna say, yes, SouFLo, but Blackman, City Puss take orders from Blackman, so Blackman probably instruct him to instruct the man. So Uncle City Puss get caught on the tape. I said, well, hey, that's court. This is an illustration, and City Puss ain't gonna come and say, yes, a Blackman did tell me if you tell him, say, right? Okay. This is an illustration of why it is dangerous to rely on the cowardly Don. The only Don who never carried a gun, McFarlane said. And that's the part that I spoke about before when I said, remember me telling you from morning, I said this not gonna go down good. And this man might actually make the whole case get that way. Y'all remember when I said that? Okay. Why? Because I don't know no Don that don't know nothing as far as putting his hand in anything that happens. This guy somehow knows everything about everybody, but he is never involved in anything. No. If you're going to give a testimony, you have to be like 6ix9ine, the American rapper, 6ix9ine, who snitched on everybody and even told on himself in the process, like, yeah, I was there with them and then we went and did this and I paid him this much to do that. And the man just tell upon everybody who did what shooting, who shoot and miss, who shoot and get shot, all that. But he implemented himself in it, which made his story more credible. Because how would these top tier gangsters allow you to be around, to see so much, to hear so much, to witness so much, and yet still you're always clean? That no sound right to me. It don't make no sense. So the judge says, I mean, not the judge, but the attorney, which is Blackman's attorney, said, this is an illustration of why it is dangerous to rely on this cowardly Don. The only Don I know who has never carried a gun, McFarlane said. He said that the evidence contradicted the prosecution's witness, and the defense lawyers will continue their closing argument when the trial resumes. That's the update so far. Stay tuned. There's more to come. This case apparently is far from over. We're talking about the Clansman One Don gang trial in Jamaica, which we said from the beginning of this, by the time this is over, it will be the longest running trial in the history of Jamaica's judicial system. But what will come out of it? Who will get convicted? Who will let go? Who will get let go? Stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button. Click the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified every time a new video goes up on SouFLoTV. I'll catch y'all on the next video. I'm out. Peace.